Okay, good morning everyone. I think everyone are audible. Okay, today's topic is transmission control protocol, which is written as TCP. So in the last class we discussed about UDP. Now we are going to discuss about TCP. So UDP is one kind of a protocol which is used in transport layer. So as part of transport layer, we have three types of protocols: UDP, TCP, and SCTP. See, most of the things or most of the times SCTP is not discussed here. We will be discussing only two of them. Already we discussed this one. Now we are going to discuss the TCP. So let us start with the TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. So what is this TCP deals about, or whatever TCP is going to perform? So let us see this point wise point. Then I will share the PPT. Then I will discuss the things later. Let's start with the important points that can be discussed as part of TCP. So it is a second protocol which is used. Okay, second protocol. First protocol is UDP. The second protocol is TCP. And it is also used for process to process communication. Process to process communication. It means programmatic wise program to program communication. Process to process communication. So TCP is also based on process to process communication, similar to the UDP. And one more thing, UDP uses port number. Similarly, TCP also uses port numbers. So port number is through which a particular process will be identified. Yes or no? So what is port number? A port number is nothing but particular process where it is available. Okay. And in UDP we discussed about socket address. Okay, what is socket address? Socket address is nothing but IP address plus port numbers. Okay, port number of the PC is a socket address. But TCP uses port numbers, similar to UDP. Okay, similar to UDP, TCP also uses port numbers. But what is the major difference between TCP and UDP? The difference is UDP is a connection less protocol. Now coming to the TCP is a connection oriented. Okay, what is this? Connection oriented protocol. So this is a major difference. That is what we are trying to discuss. And one more thing, TCP uses virtual connections. Uses virtual connection to send data. Okay, virtual connection to send data. Now, what is this virtual connection? Which are called as virtual connections. So, if let us say that there is a process here, there is a process here. This is the network or the PC on which the process is being executed. There is a connection. Okay. So what happens if this particular connection is lost? Let us say that this connection is not giving us, or it is not used, or somewhere else failure has happened. Okay. So at that moment, it will take the alternate route, which is the longest route to reach this particular process. Okay. If this connection fails, it will take another route. Okay. That is what virtual connection means. Now coming to the next point. So UDP, see we are comparing, mostly we are comparing TCP with UDP only. So mostly UDP is used for communication, that's it, connectionless communication. But it will not have error control or flow control, okay, mechanisms. So UDP protocol will not have this feature, that is error control or flow control mechanisms. So what about TCP? What about TCP? TCP has the feature of error control mechanism as well as flow control mechanism. Error control mechanism and flow control mechanism. So in brief, we can also say that TCP is a connection oriented, reliable transport protocol. Reliable transport protocol. So this is about the TCP. I'm repeating the points once again. You just go through this. See, TCP is a connection-oriented protocol, and it is the second protocol, and it is also performs process-to-process communication like UDP. And one more point is TCP uses port numbers as we see in UDP. So port numbers are assigned for the particular process where it is available. Like unlike UDP, it means TCP is a connection-oriented, UDP is connectionless. And one more important point about TCP is it uses a virtual connection between two TCPs to send the data. In addition to that, TCP also has error control and flow control mechanisms at the transport level. In brief, we can also say that TCP is a connection oriented and it is a reliable transport protocol. Reliable transport protocol. Now let us see what are the services which are offered by the TCP. Okay. Let's see what are the services. TCP services which are offered by the TCP. So first one is, so actually these are the services which are provided at application level. Application layer level. So TCP is providing services for which layer? Application layer. So let us see what are the services which are provided. First one, process to process communication. So what does it do? It gives a service called as process to process communication. Sorry. So how these processes will be communicated? So process to process communication is done. Okay, process to process communication will be done process to process communication is done through port numbers. Okay, process to process communication is done through port numbers. So port numbers are the identification numbers. Okay, port numbers are the identification numbers which are assigned per particular process. Okay, this process will be identified through the port numbers. So communication will be established from process to process through the port numbers. So as we have seen, UDP is having some kind of a predefined port numbers into it for their services to be offered. Now TCP also, TCP also has port numbers, predefined port numbers for the very well-known services. So well-known for well-known protocols or well-known services. So this is about TCP, and let me write some of the protocols numbers which are used for process to process communication. So the port number, that is 7, okay, which is also used in UDP, 7, which is used for echo. Okay, and the port number as part of TCP, which is well known, is 20, that is FTP service. Okay, and 2021, both are used for FTP. 20 for FTP to transfer the data. 21 is for controlling the data. Okay, 21 is the port number which is used for controlling the data which has been transferred. Okay. Whereas 20 FTP is used for only sending the data using a protocol called as file transfer protocol. Now coming to the very much important port number is 23, which is telnet. Okay. Telnet is the terminal network. Okay. It is a port number which is used for accessing the terminal port number, and we have one more important, that is 25 is the port number which is used for SMTP. The mails which you are sending through the internet will be using this one. Okay, it will be using this protocol number, 25 as a protocol number. Next comes 53 is a protocol number which is used for DNS, domain name services or domain name server. Now coming to the most important one, I'm not writing here in this list, I'm writing here because it is most important for us. 80. 80 is the most important port number which is used for HTTP. Most of the communications through the internet will be done through this port number, that is 80. 80 is the default port number which is available for HTTP kind of a protocol, which makes our data to be transferred, or the text which is will be transferred over internet. Okay. So this is the first service. What is the first service which is available? Process to process communication. This is first one. Now next we will see the second service. The second service which is provided by the TCP is stream delivery service. Okay. Stream delivery service. So what does it deal about? So whatever data is sent, as part of UDP, I'm comparing TCP with UDP always because we need to know what is major difference between UDP and TCP. So UDP uses messages, okay? Messages as the communication medium, how they are communicated. But here in TCP, it uses streams of bytes. Okay, stream of byte information that is being transferred over this protocol. So byte is nothing but 8 bits of information which is in the form of a stream that will be traveling over the TCP protocol. And one more thing, as we discussing about process to process communication, so there will be a sender, there will be a receiver. Okay. So sender will send its stream of bytes. Okay, stream of bytes of information to the receiver who is receiving this stream of bytes. Along with that, this process, which is called as a receiver here, it will be receiving this stream of bytes, and again the receiver will send in return again some stream of bytes in response to the sender. So it makes the communication to happen. Okay. So when we are discussing about streams, there should be some medium or some kind of a medium through which, as we know that stream is nothing but collection of bits. So it should pass through some pipe kind of a structure. Okay. So there will be a sender here, there will be a receiver. So there will be some kind of a pipe kind of a structure will be there, imaginary structure. So it is not physically available. It is an imaginary structure that we can be imagine of between the sender and receiver while we are using TCP with stream delivery service. Let me draw this diagram, then you can understand. So let us say that this is one process and this is one process. Okay. This is sender and this is a receiver. So what is this? One second. Sender, receiver. There will be a TCP protocol. This is a TCP protocol. So this is the sender process and receiver process. So what happens here is there is one kind of a pipe kind of a structure will be used here, imaginary structure. This is a TCP protocol and this is a TCP protocol which makes the process communication possible. So this is a stream of bytes, streams of bytes of data, or streams of data. Okay. So the sender process will write the data into this pipe or the stream of bytes. Similarly, receiver will receive the data here, okay, by using TCP head. Okay. Now the third service which is offered by the TCP is sending and receiving buffers. So what is this? Why we need buffers here? Because sender, whenever we are discussing about a communication, if sender is sending too much of data within a span of time, so the receiver is not able to receive the data at which the speed which has been sent by the sender. Okay, so sender is sending the data, receiver is supposed to receive, but he is not able to receive the data at what speed it has been sent. So what we have to do, we need to store those bits before communication has been received. That is, until an acknowledgement received from the receiving process, okay, until the sender is sending and receiver is receiving, until a response is coming back from the receiver as in the form of acknowledgement, the sender will not send again. So what happens? It will store in some space that is called as a buffer. Okay, that is called as a buffer. Not only the sender will have the buffer, the receiver also will have the buffers. Okay, receiver also has the buffers. So that is what discussed here. TCP needs buffer, okay, because for what? Sending and receiving process may not write or read data at the same speed. So that is what we are discussing. So the data which is written onto the stream of bytes, the speed at which it is written and the speed at which it is read by the receiver, it is not same. So what we have to do, we need to temporarily place those data into some kind of a space that is called as a buffer. So there are two types of buffers. Okay, there are two types of buffers are available as we have discussed here. Sender buffer and receiver buffer. Okay, sender buffer and receiver buffer. These are the two buffers which are available. So TCP needs buffers. Buffers are of two types. They are sender buffer and receiver buffer. Okay. So how these buffers will be implemented as part of the process, particular sender process or receiver process. So the implementation of these buffers is done using a circular array. Okay, what is that? A circular array is used inside the sender as well as the receiver. A circular kind of implementation of an array is used. Okay, so each location or each array location, because array is in the form of something like this, so every location, sorry, is something. So every location which is of 1 byte, okay, which is of 1 byte space, which is used here. See, as we are communicating between too many PCs, yes or no, process to process communication means it is happening at a time. We can send information to different number of processes, or different number of sender processes will be there, different number of receiving processes are also available over the internet while the communication is being established. So what happens here is, as per our convenience, we are discussing about the circular array implementation is of 20 bytes. Okay, 20 bytes only. Okay, which is in something like this. Yeah, circular array, each of 1 byte size, because the sender will send the information. So every information will be gathered here, and among this circular array, there are different sections are also available. Okay, there are different sections are available here. Let me write here, as I've drawn here. This is circular array. Circular array. So each one is of 1 byte size. Each one is of 1 byte size. So among this circular array, there are 3 sections are available here. First one is white section. What is that? White section is there. Next one, gray section. And there is one colored section. In images we cannot show you. Yeah, color section. Color section. I will show you the PPT, then you can understand here. So what is this? There are 3 sections are available in this circular array. There is a white section. Okay. And white section, along with that we have gray color. Okay. So this part is filled with color. Let us assume that this part is filled with color and this part is filled with color. Okay. And this part is filled with the gray color. Let us say that. And remaining 2 sections are white colors. So these colors have different meaning into it. Okay. So what about the white section? So what does it deal about white section? So white section denotes empty chambers. Empty chambers are nothing but empty locations. Okay, empty locations that can be filled by the sending process. Okay, that can be filled by the sending process. Empty chambers to be filled by sending process or sending process. Now coming to the gray section. So according to this gray section, the gray section, it is nothing but the data or the bytes sent but not acknowledged. Okay, so what do you mean by this gray section? Gray section, it means the streams of byte information has been sent, but the acknowledgement is not received from the receiver. Now coming to the colored section. So the colored section is the bytes being sent. Okay, all the bytes that have been sent will be in a different color, not exactly this color, it will be in different color. So try to understand here the service which is provided by the TCP. Third one is sending and receiving buffers. So the buffers are implemented with the help of circular array. Okay, implemented with the help of the circular array. This circular array has three sections. First one is white section, second one is gray section, and third one is colored section. So white section is dealing about the empty places or empty bytes which are supposed to be filled by the sending process. Okay. Next is the gray section. It contains bytes which have been sent. Already it has been sent, but the acknowledgement is not yet received by the sending process from the receiver process. So the color is in gray color. So next one is a different color will be used. Okay, different color, not this color, it may be any different color will be used here to represent the bytes which have been sent. Okay, totally sent. So this is about the third service which is used, which is provided by the TCP to the application layer. Next comes the fourth one, fourth service which is provided by the TCP, that is segments. Okay, segments. So what happens here is, as we discussed, by the services of buffers. Okay, as TCP is using buffers, so it makes, what does it do? It makes the speed at which received or sent is not same. So to control those things, we will be using buffers. So it is not enough for us to send the data. Okay, by using buffers also we cannot send data which is required for us. So what we need some more advanced mechanism which is used so that it can be easily transferred to the receiver, that is sent by the sender. Okay, TCP which is used is segment. Okay, now what happens is, the data which is sent is stream of bytes as part of TCP. So what happens is, these stream of bytes will be made into sections. Okay, name or grouped into, this stream of bytes will be grouped into number of bytes, grouped into number of bytes called, okay, number of bytes into number of bytes into packets, number of bytes into packets called segment. So what is a segment? A segment is nothing but grouping the number of bytes into a format called as a packet. That is called as a segment here. So TCP adds a header information to every segment. Okay, header information to every segment which is used here, and delivers the segment to the IP level for the transmission. Okay. So this is what the fourth service. Next comes the fifth service. What is the fifth service? Fifth service is full duplex communication. What is this? Full duplex communication. What do you mean by full duplex communication? In full duplex communication, we can, or the data can be flowed. Okay, data can flow. Okay, data can flow in both directions. Both directions. Okay, this side and this side. So sender and receiver. Okay. So these are the services which are used, or which are provided by the. So there is one more service, that is connection oriented. Sorry, there is a sixth service, that is connection oriented service. As already we know that TCP is a connection oriented service protocol. Next one is reliable service, that is we can trust on the TCP through some kind of a mechanism called as a arrival and sending, and arrival of safe arrival of the data at the receiving end. Okay, so totally 7 services which are provided by the TCP. Coming to the next topic, that is what are the features of TCP. So until now we discussed only services which are offered by the services which are offered by the TCP. Now we are going to see what are the exact features which are available in TCP. Before we discuss about features, let me share one more PPT. 1 second. Where is it? Yeah. So we are discussing this one. So we discussed this. Oh, yeah. So now we are discussing TCP. Okay. So TCP, which is used here. Okay, there is a network failure. Just now we are discussing about TCP. TCP is a connection oriented protocol. It creates a virtual connection between two pieces as to send the data. In addition to that, it has a flow and error control mechanism, which is not there as part of UDP. So the topics which we discussed right now is TCP services which are offered here. So to have a process to process communication, so TCP uses some port numbers which are well known for us. 80 is most important for us, as well as 53 and Telnet 2021, that is FTP. Now this is how a stream delivery of service which is offered here. Stream delivery, the sending process will send the data, and this is an imaginary structure which is used here. Okay. Next comes buffer. This is the buffer, how it looks like. This is a TCP protocol, both ends. So this is a sending process, this is a receiving process. Okay. So what happens here is the next byte it has to be written is in the arrays, and these are sent, and this is not sent, and the next byte to be sent here from here. It will be sent, and it has been read here, and it will be buffer will be placed here.